Vigilante Wednesday here on the 79th episode of the Culture Crime Fighters, joined by my partner in Culture Crime Fighting, none other than the man, the myth, the legend himself, Matt from Foulball Productions. How you doing, man?
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing. Kind of talked off air.
Yeah.
How you doing? But
yeah, I'm doing okay. I've kept up the sober October, as I was telling you. It's my
congrats.
ninth day. Thank you. Almost, I guess about almost about a third of the way through.
Yeah,
which is pretty significant for me. That's huge.
Yeah,
it's been a big deal. I did fuck my back up at the gym, like third day of sober October. Yeah, because I guess it was Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday.
Yeah,
I fucked my back up at the gym bad. Like I was deadlifting and like was feeling great, and it's just like felt like wow.
I hate deadlifts, by the way. Like I can do the whatever the fuck it is, the little was it trap bar deadlifts.
Mm-hmm.
But with the regular bar, I can't do them.
I don't like it either. Like the hexagonal bar, is that the one you're talking about? That's good. I like that one too.
I like that one. Yeah, the hexagonal. Yeah, the regular bar. There's always a muscle that's not supposed to be involved trying to be involved. I can never do. I can't do it properly personally. I just said, fuck, I'm not gonna do it. I just don't use the hex bar.
I like it more than squats. I don't really like squats.
I hate squats too.
I hate squats. I don't like the feel. I don't like all that weight on my spine and like on my shoulders. It just doesn't make me feel good. And I just don't like the motion. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I'd rather do body weight squats than put weight on.
Yeah, I do like little jump squats.
Yeah, those are a lot cooler to me.
Yeah, I agree. But I definitely want to put mass on my legs, so you got to do something like that. And deadlifting has been okay for the most part. Like I always feel, I don't like the risk on my lower back, but for the most part, it's been fine. But man, and that took me out. Out. I went to an open mic, and I actually got up on stage that Monday night. But it was long. I was there for hours because I didn't sign up online. I signed up when I got there. Mm-hmm. There was so many people ahead of me, and I was just sitting on this hard wooden bench for the entire duration, like while I was waiting. And oh, dude, like when I got up to go, and after I performed, I sat back down and watched the other comics, and there was only like a few left. But I was like, well, I mean, it would be ridiculous for me to leave. Like if all these people stayed for me, I might as well just stay for them. And when I got up to go, I was almost like just like hunched over, like it was so bad.
Ooh, fuck.
Yeah, it was so bad. So I just like pretty much all week have been laying in bed with a heating pad on my lower back because I haven't been able to do shit else. Yeah, I went to work like twice, and that it was the first time it was rough, and I had to it's been a week. It's been a fucking week. Yeah.
Jeez, man, I'm sorry to hear that. And then I don't know if you want to bring it up, but you said the off air that the set maybe not the best. I'm not trying to, but
yeah, I would say probably not the best set of comedy that's ever been performed. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Wondering, well, you had said that, and I'm thinking like, no, I'm not trying to. This isn't shit on Matt time. I'm sure you guys do in the chat. That wasn't the point. It was actually like, okay, well, if your back was fucked up, I mean, you're really gonna be fucking Jerry Seinfeld at an open mic with a broken back.
Yeah, that's it. It was all my humor comes from my lower back, so there's nothing I can. I mean, that's why it was terrible. Not because
if you would have made fun of
I'm
the back,
awful.
maybe
I did. I came up with a bad line to begin with when I'm kind of embarrassed now, but it was just the first thing I thought of as I was walking up there. I just said, I hurt my back at the gym today. That's why I look like an old man who shit his pants. So I was like, but it's like, I know it's not that fun. Yeah, but it's just like, ugh. And then I was like, all right, good start.
Hey, fuck it. Just gotta, shit. You know what I just thought of? I was going to say Brett Favre, but now this guy's a fucking scammer. Brett Favre was always a guy I thought of because he used to throw so many fucking crazy picks and then throw crazy touchdowns. And the whole idea is, who cares if you fuck up? Just keep doing it. I guess now James Harden, because he takes a bunch of shots, or Iverson. I don't know. Sports analogies. I know you guys hate the sports balls, but like the idea of no matter how many times you fuck up, just keep trying because maybe you'll be successful.
Well, that was Jared Allen. Remember Jared Allen?
Yeah, he was another one.
And he said that, like, he would say chopping wood. That's
Yeah.
how he looks. It's just chopping wood and just keep chopping wood.
You
Yeah,
watch
I
some of
mean,
those plays, he gets blocked like 5 times and finally gets through, gets the
and that
quarterback.
I mean, look, and that's a great analogy, especially for stand up. So like when I went up there, I did like the 2 minutes I wanted to do, which was like about this haunted house that I this is a true story. I went to this haunted house and like me and my friend got online and we were waiting, we're like, oh, spooky haunted house. Like I think we were like in our early 20s or something,
Yeah.
And it was like supposed to be the good one on the block, We're like, all right, cool. We're like going there. It's all spooky, spider webs, lights, whoa.
Yeah.
And you're like waiting for the jump scare, right? It's the haunted house.
Yeah.
And you're just like, is it going to be around this corner? Nope. Okay. Is it going to be around this corner? Nope. And then you get all the way through the fucking haunted house and there's no jump scares. None.
Anyone
so-
chase you or any crazy
Nah.
shit like that?
No, nothing. Nothing. So we get out. And the guy was like, how was it? I was like, I don't know, man. It was all right. Just like, how about a few jump scares? And he goes, aha, but that's what you thought was going to happen. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I did think I was going to have fun. And I didn't. That was,
You know what?
that was-
Just imagine
You're
went
right.
to a football game, but instead there were ballerinas twisting on the field. It would be like, whoa. You blew
Yeah.
your fucking mind because you got what you thought you were going to get. This was not what you thought it was going to get. It was subversive and creative.
That was the joke I made. I was like, imagine going on a roller coaster and it just goes in circles. And they're like, but you thought there'd be loop-de-loops. It's like, you're correct. I did think I was going to have fun on this roller coaster. I did not. Yes, you
Yeah.
subverted my expectations, but it sucked. So I did that, which didn't eat up as much time as I wanted. And then I went into something about, I think it was something about my dad. And at this point, I'm just, oh, shit, that did not go as long as I expected. And then I was kind of like grasping at straws a little. And then something about like my dad, and then it wasn't getting any laughs. And then it just kind of felt like I was making real points about my dad. And I was just like, holy shit, it was going really, really
man.
bad. And they gave me the light and I was like, whoo, okay, I'm out. Like Christ. And then the microphone stand was broken. And I forgot he said to put the microphone on the stool.
Oh, shit.
And I forgot about that and then put it on there. And then the microphone, the thing fell off. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad, dude. It was not. Oof. It was rough.
Hey, you need those moments to be great. You got to have
true.
those what the fuck moments to have the I get to fuck moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was interesting because pretty much every comic sucked. There was like one or two comedians there that had had some good lines, had some good laughs, like genuinely like funny stuff. A lot of them were like rough. It was funny too. Like some people didn't know the difference between like a setup and a punchline. Like they would just give a setup. And then they'd be like, oh, I guess you guys didn't like that. It's like, well, you didn't give us a joke yet. Like you just set the stage. You got to, now get the punchline. But then there were some people there that it was like, no matter how many people were in the room, no matter how many, they could still own the room, which was impressive. I was like, damn, even if they weren't that funny, just their stage presence alone, they could still own the room. And I was like, wow, even with like 2 people in there, or 3 people, they could still own the room. I was like, that's impressive.
Hey, it comes with time and work. And
Yeah.
you'll get there, man.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll fucking see. It was brutal. It was and there was no almost no cathartic, like, way to go, like you did it, that like I expected to kind of have that satisfaction. Now it was just kind of like, wow, you suck. That sucked. That was awful. There was no, happy,
man.
like, well, you did it anyway. You overcame your
You
fear.
did a good
and,
job. You overcame your fear. I'm proud of you.
Which is how it is now, but that took a week.
Yeah.
That took a week. It's not how it felt all week. It felt like you fucking suck. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you do. No, I mean, you just have to keep going. You'll get there, man. You'll get there. And hey, you're already a little advanced. You know what a punchline is, so just keep working.
I did realize there's a pretty big gap between knowing what it looks like and doing it.
Yeah.
Pretty big gap. Yeah.
So hey,
I got a lot more respect for like all comedians just after, because I'd already done a few open mics, but that one alone like just gave me so much insight into like even hacks, like even people you don't enjoy, just their comfort on stage, just their confidence to deliver lines like well structured, to the audience, like allowing the audience to respond, like all these things. I was like, damn, those are all skill sets, even if it doesn't look
Yeah.
like it. They are.
Okay, so you have more respect for the art form just on the strength of like, oh, even guys that suck still have enough confidence to be this competent.
Yeah, even like the political comics I don't like, like I empathize a lot more
Mm-hmm.
and respect it even more. Like, not that I
Yeah.
respect their material, but I
Even
respect
what's her name? Hannah something?
Gatsby.
Hannah Gatsby. You're like, oh, even if she's terribly terrible, she has this skill set to at least be able to go out there and be terrible.
And I also kind of understand pandering a little bit more too, because it's like
Mm.
when you're dying up there, it's scary. Like there was like almost no one in the room. There was maybe 6 people
Yeah.
in the room when I went up. I mean, there's no one. So it's like but it's
I'll
still
take Clapter. Like that's
yeah, it's terrifying. It's
Yeah.
to say things to silence and then just like you're the only thing going on in this room right now. It's scary and it's weird too. Like I couldn't really see. You can only it's like there's
hate
lights
that.
right in your
That's what I'm-
eyes, so you can't really see the crowd. So it's like you just
yeah.
so you feel detached from them anyway. Then I just felt like I was performing like in this glass, like cage. It was so uncomfortable.
Did you
But
practice your set a lot?
yeah, well, not
Okay.
a lot. I mean, I wrote the material that day because it was October, 1st. But it was, but I had been practicing. But
You know what? Maybe practice a set. Because I know one thing, when I used to perform, I know it was rap, it's a different discipline. But like the thing you said about the lights, I remember that. For some reason, these stage lights, these shitty bars, or not just shitty bar, but any bar, you can't see shit, a lot of them. And so what got me and my friends to is we practiced whatever we were doing. So it was like, oh, we can't see shit. It's just like we're in the room practicing. You know what I mean? It almost, that was kind of cool. We would just put on sunglasses and say, fuck it. You know what I mean? And just, even with the sunglasses, still couldn't see shit. But just like, all right, we're just performing in a room. It would almost take us out of it in a way. You know what I mean?
yeah, sure. I mean, I did practice like I unhooked this microphone and then
Yeah.
just like used this one that I have.
Yep.
And then
That'd
just
be cool.
practice like it was a set, and I was like, "Oh, that was pretty good." It was just a lot different when there's like live people in the room.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's different. But I would say the more you practice, the less different it becomes. And I
bet.
know that for myself because I'm gonna have to be getting out there and doing these open mics at some point, and I got to go through this shittiness all over again. Like, oh, you look crazy, and you sound crazy, and nobody
And you have to
knows
roll
any of
with
these
it.
songs, and nobody likes any of these songs, and you have to do this again next week.
Shit. At least like when you were doing it before, you had friends. Like now you're
Yeah.
in a whole new city. You're just a stranger.
Yeah, I'm hoping Vigilante wants the hype man or 24, maybe. Hopefully, we'll see.
Oh yeah, he's in Houston. That's right.
Yeah, like please.
Bombing and rap's got to be bad.
It is so bad because like there's no instruments, it's just somebody playing a CD and you talking over it. And you don't even know if they're going to play it loud enough for at least the bass to kick in. And if you're an idiot like me and you're the one who mixed it, maybe the bass doesn't even work on his system. So there's no energy, maybe, if you're a dumbass. And so then you're just like, hey, and there's a bunch of people trying to order drinks or other rappers who already think that you suck because you're not them and can't wait to go up. And then they play their shitty beat and talk over it. And it's just like, oh.
Oof. Bombing and rap's got to be the
Thank
worst.
God for weed. There's no way I could do it sober. No way. You doing sober October with it too? That's
Sober,
gangster.
stone sober.
You're a gangster motherfucker. I don't like giving you credit ever for obvious reasons.
I don't really deserve it.
You don't. But that's deserves some gangster because like doing that shit sober. There's a reason. All right, there's lots of reasons that celebrities have drug issues. We'll leave them for another episode. But inherently, being in the entertainment industry on any level, there's this nervousness because you have to like try to make people like or enjoy something you do. And for fuck's sake, people don't care. They don't give a fuck. And they look at you as amateur for trying. Like, how dare you try to entertain me?
Yeah.
Like,
Who do
you're
you
not
think
good.
you are?
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? Like, go away. You're ruining our night.
Yeah, it's like you're not us, insert whatever comedian you want to think of. Like, you're not Andrew Schultz. Get the fuck off it. Get out of here.
Yo, That's like just genuine insight for anyone in the audience who's like or listening, who's like a fan of comedy.
Yeah.
Just go watch one open mic. They are brutal. Even you'll still see a few good comics. I saw an open mic at this bar in Austin called the Buzz Mill, and they do it, and it's a rough one because it's not really a room for comedy. Like, it's outdoors, first of all, and comedy generally doesn't work outdoors. There is a roof, but still. And then there's like a lot of people who are not there for the mic. They're just there to be at a bar,
Yeah.
and so they're all talking. Same bar,
Cool,
exactly.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw the stage they had set up.
Yeah, and like in the back, like there's all these people talking, and then the other thing is that the door to where you go get drinks is like right in front of the stage. So if this is the stage and this is the door, people are just constantly walking in front to go get drinks because that's the only way to get in. So like I watched that, and like there were some good comics. Like I saw this one guy had a great joke. He was this fat dude, and he said when he goes to like when he went to like this CrossFit gym or something like that, they treated him like he was an 8-year-old at the zoo. Like, hey, how you doing there, butt champ? How's it going? Welcome in, man. You're gonna have a great time. Gonna have an awesome day. How's your day? Just like way too excited, way too nice, which is really, and he acted it out. It was really, and he was funny. He did a great 5 minutes, really good stuff. Not everything was polished and perfect, but overall, it was you could clearly tell the guy had stage presence. He was a funny dude. Yeah. But then like even that like. Then the next guy goes up and just sucks and then brings up like uncomfortable topics, but not well, and you're just like, oh, you're just cringing. It's so uncomfortable. You want it to end. Like I don't like making eye contact with the comics like at all. Like there was like a column where I was sitting and like, so yeah, I would just like, so I could like listen and kind of look at their body language. But I don't want to lock eyes with them at all. Like it's too uncomfortable for me, and I don't like it. Like I'd rather just watch you as if you don't know that I'm here, so I can like learn. Please do not include me in any way. Like, but if you go, like I think you'll understand. Like that's the thing I think about people who've never pursued like an art. They don't understand like the depths of how bad. Yeah, like you don't realize that what you see, even the worst of what you see, is the most polished, like the best of like the best, because it's like all the other shit below it. You have no idea how low it goes, how bad, the bad acting, the bottom, the bad writing, bad comedy, bad music, how inept and incompetent and just a total. It's scary. It's honestly, and it's a lot to like grow with. Like when I first got into acting, it's like, oh, I'm you're gonna be with all these people who like, get it, and you just meet just A, lunatics, B, people who are completely delusional, C, people who are talentless, like and it's just like, oh God, it's like it's just you can't. Like, this is what the world is, and it's like, yeah, that's what most of the art world is. Awful,
bro, and it's worse now because the internet makes the barrier entry so low, and then when everyone thinks, well, oh, this individual can do it, I can do it too. And like maybe you can with polish and work, or maybe you can't. I don't know. But you get to find out at an open mic or what, DeviantArt or some shit like that, or wherever. You know what I mean? Tumblr.
I will say, to the art world's credit, they do a pretty good job keeping the lid on that. Like most people do not use that for like fodder to mock people.
Yeah.
So you got to give. I think that's like worthy. I just realized how like respectful that is. You know what I mean? Because it's just like I've had to sit through plays. I don't even like plays when they're good.
I can see the PTSD on your face.
And it would be like the first 2 minutes. I'm like, oh shit, and I knew. Like I saw this one play with this director guy. He's a gay dude, but he was cool. He wasn't like like all over me, and he wasn't like a stereo. He's just a guy. He just happened to be gay. You're like, all right, I mean, it's the art world. There's gonna be a few gay dudes. I saw his play with him, and he directed a really good movie that I liked, and I was like, getting to know him, and watched his play, dude. It was this interpretation of like a bad Tennessee Williams play. So like we're not talking Streetcar Named Desire or like Cat in a Hot Tin Roof. These are like the bad ones that like no one knows of. And like he would always do like little hints of gays in his play, like gayness in his play. Like it would be like a little, it'd be like you'd only know if you know like one character's gay. Like I didn't even know that. Like I think it's supposed to be like someone in Streetcar Named Desire is gay. Either like Kowalski or like this other girl's like lover. It's supposed to be that, and that's like, ooh, like that's a subversive part of the play. You wouldn't know, right? And I didn't know until someone pointed it out.
Yeah.
But this play was not that. This play was full on. He's out the closet, you know, Elton John in a fucking, you know, like poofy suit gay. And they made it was so uncomfortable. And like I remember there was a guy on stage who had, for his entire time in this show, which wasn't long, it was at least an hour and a half, and he had a dildo.
Oh,
a legitimate dildo.
Child's ascension dildo, but
yeah,
that's not what we mean.
No, like a legitimate penis, the rubber penis, like attached to his like body that was out all the time, and then was on a string, like I think to his neck, so that it was always like erect and up the whole play.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it was awful on top of that. It wasn't
was this play?
Like way too long. Like it felt like 9 hours, but
oh man.
And I was there as a guest. I couldn't leave. I would have left.
Oh man.
I had to sit through this whole fucking nightmare of a play. It was the most uncomfortable like 2 hours of my fucking life. I think I was sober too. Like I was like pulling.
Oh man.
Oh, it was brutal, dude.
This episode's not making a good case for sobriety, but keep going.
No, and it was just an absolute fucking nightmare. And it was terribly executed, too. It wasn't like that was the only thing about it that was bad. It was awful. It was poorly acted. It was not even a good play. Like, I'd never even heard of it. And it was just, it was god-awful. And then we went to the after party, the cast after party. So I had to go, like, hang out with these crazy people. And they're like, oh, what'd you think?
Ooh.
Man, I mustered all my years of time in the theater. And I was just like, you know what? It's one of the most interesting things I've ever seen.
There you go. That's how you do it. That's how you got to find ways to not lie, because people detect bullshit. And you got to be like smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
because it was interesting in that regard. I mean, that wasn't good. But
think of it like this: your acting skill got tested because you had to get through the after party, right? Like, how good of an actor are you really? Can you act like you're somebody who liked what you just saw?
I forgot about that until right now.
Man, you've had some wacky adventures in your life, huh, man?
I have had some wacky adventures, that's for sure.
Shit, man. Write about that shit.
He did direct this. This director directed a really good play, actually, with Jeffrey Rush.
Okay.
And it was it was called like Diary of a Madman or something like that.
Did it get made into a movie, or is it just another movie with that title?
I don't know. I might be getting the title wrong. This was a long time ago. But it was so like bad for a while. I was like, oh shit. And then at the end, it takes this complete turn, and you realize that everything that had happened in the play was just like machinations of this crazy guy's brain. And it all takes this harsh turn, and he's been in a mental institution this whole time. And he thinks of himself as this like erudite, like really interesting, like guy running stuff. And he has this assistant, and then you cut, and his assistant is like this crazy woman who's like, you know, a torn like straitjacket, and it's like this horror show of like a mental institution from like the 1800s, you know. Like, and I was just like, whoa, like it was such a great reveal, because I'm like, oh, these jokes aren't funny. Like this guy sucks. Like nothing's good about it. And then when it turns it all around, I was like, whoa, like that was spectacular.
Okay.
So, the guy was actually quite gifted, the director who I was befriending. But the night out, that sucked.
Nobody bats. Ooh, sorry. See, not making a good case for sobriety. Nobody bats 1,000. That's what I'm trying to say.
True. Well, he didn't direct the gay play with the dildo, in his defense, but he did bring me there.
Still.
Yeah. So the point of that whole thing is, the art world is complex.
Art sucks is the point.
Fuck it.
No.
We're about almost halfway through. We should talk about the big story.
Oh yeah, the Doomcock thing. Did want to talk about that. So for those who don't know, you may not. I know that some people aren't as clicked in with the fandom, and I've been clicked out with the fandom, so to speak.
Same.
But apparently She-Hulk is so upset and obsessed with the fandom that they made a fake Doomcock for their TV show.
Now, what do you know of this? That's about all I know, is what you just said.
Yeah, me too. I'm not watching She-Hulk.
No, I mean, that's crazy.
Listen, we just spoke about competence. I think the shit that still pisses me off about She-Hulk, okay, I get it. It's feminist garbage, whatever. But like, you guys couldn't even get the CG right. That shows so much disrespect for even the fans who the few fans that may like it because they just want a virtue signal. Like, you don't even respect them. You couldn't even get the CG right for a character like this. Well, that's the main character. You're just gonna put PlayStation 2 Shrek in the real world and have no fucking remorse. Like, that's such disrespect and ballsiness. But I haven't watched the show. I do know a little bit about some of the plot points. Have you heard about the plot points of the show?
Mm-mm.
It is a mess. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, and maybe I know you said about an article. Maybe they'll have some of that stuff in here. But the plot of this show is Jen Walters, aka She-Hulk, has a sex tape, and there is a group of incels who are threatening to leak her sex tape.
Oh, for Christ's sake!
And they hate her because she's a woman.
Dude, you know what I was thinking about? Remember with the whole Weather Katie thing happened?
Yeah.
So I think I said this to you. I don't know if I ever said it on air, but there was I got these like messages from like Twitter egg profiles, like,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Hey man, like way to go, smashing that Weather Girl chick." And I was like, "Oh, thanks man, I appreciate the support, even though I don't know who you are, And then the guy showed me this picture of this other Weather Girl, and he's like, "What do you think about her?" And I was like, "Yeah, she's hot." She was really hot, like way hotter than any of the girls in our conversation. And I was like, "Yeah," and he goes, "Yeah, like what would you, do you want to fuck her or something? You want to do?" And I was just like,
Whoa.
yeah. So I was just kind of like, all right, I'm good. And then he kept going. He's like, "Yeah, don't you just think she's just like a piece of meat or something like that?" And I was just kind of like,
okay. It's more like,
so yeah, I stopped responding. Like I was just like, this guy's fucking weird. And then I got like another message from like another one, and I was just like, oh, like they're trying to get me to say something and then like go to Twitter with it, or whatever, but I'm like, wait, is that really what you think I think?
yes. That's absolutely what they think. It is like, you know what it reminds me of? Like 6th grade, where neither girls know about boys and boys don't know about girls. And so they make up, like, did you know boys have like laser beams out their eyes or some
shit like that? Yeah, like
just
when women go on their period, they get psychic powers. Like,
yeah, shit like this. And if you've only been on Earth 12 or 13 years, you might believe.
I was just like, I didn't even occur to me until later because I just kind of shut it down. Like I just said, like, "Oh, you're fucking
whatever
pathetic."
the fuck. This is weird. I don't have time for this.
Well, I didn't respond to the guy after a while. I was like, this guy's fucking weird. Then when I put it together that it was like a trap, I was just like, "Oh, you're fucking pathetic," and then blocked them. But then it was almost like months later where I was just like, they really think that people who think it's okay to look at a girl's tits also just, she's a piece of meat. Like, it's like, no one thinks
reality.
that. No, they don't.
That's why they believe a lot of the shit they believe to the extent that they believe it. I mean, there's some, there'll be that little kernel, like, okay, I can see this. And then they take it to some other extraterrestrial place.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they live, is that extraterrestrial place. That's why as much shit as I talk about you, talking shit about me with the conspiracy theory, good. Because I don't want to end up on fucking a crazy planet because no one said, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I do.
That's what happens to these people. No one says that. They just keep going and going. And then they'll come across other people and say, yeah, go even crazier.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like they really just live like, I hate to use the term at this point. It's so overused, but echo chamber.
Yes.
And then they just say the thing to each other. And then like they don't apply what they know about their fathers or their brothers or men they know, like in the real world. They just imagine this like a spacefaring villain, like some kind of alien from another land who's just like, I just look at women, it's me. It's like, what? No one really thinks that.
Useless tools.
Yeah, like if you got like one of these, like incel, and they got,
leader group.
Some
kill all of the women.
Yeah, and they got like, you know, they were able, like, let's say, I don't know, some fill in the blank with some gorgeous chick, Scarlett Johansson or
Yeah.
whatever, you know, and like they were all into that guy. Like that guy wouldn't like, yep, fucked her and left her. Like he would collapse at her feet and like beg her not to leave. Like he would, you know,
Right.
it would ruin his life. Like it would. That's not like how human beings behave. Like they're not just like, you know, like a serial killer.
Alpha
Like
male. Red pill.
like they just got like a meat
Incel.
locker full of female bodies. Like
Yeah.
it's just
Like the Matrix
that's
is just bitches instead of guns.
yeah
Like,
yeah.
it's
Like
like,
what?
no.
What is this? Who are these people you're talking about? Who are these? So the She-Hulk incels who hate women,
Hate
like
women.
they've got this like a political agenda to bring down women.
Yeah. Now, okay. Again, I am not watching the show. This is what I can gather for the plot points. If I have the plot points wrong, correct me, please. In the chat, if somebody's actually watching this shit, or if we clip this out somewhere, that's not how it really is. Tell us. Because I don't want to watch fucking Fiona from Shrek. So I'm not going to watch it. But I think the big takeaway, and I, you know, whether you consider me a fan or whatever, if you're part of the fan, I don't really consider myself part of the fan.
No,
I still love the guy. Still.
of course. Hey, oh, still members. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm
Yeah,
wearing, I'm
actually,
wearing
still
Ryan's
members.
shirt.
Yeah, you are wearing Wignot shirt. Wignot
Yeah.
memorabilia. But you guys are in their head. You are succeeding to that extent. Doomcock, and there's not. They picked Doomcock probably because he's an icon. Like his iconography can be repeated. You know what I mean? I guess you could have got a guy who looked like Gary, right?
Who would
Maybe
be
they
the
did- maybe they
biggest?
have.
Who's like the biggest figure in the fandom? Is it Gary?
If you're talking about of the fandom, I would say is either him or like EVS or somebody like that. As far, but
EVS,
then
but
I would
EVS is
almost-
more like that's just
Comics
comic.
gay.
Yeah, like
Comic.
people in I don't, who's got the most subs? Like a critical
Well,
drinker.
that's the thing, Drinker. That's my thought, but Drinker's not like
He's not as political.
he's not as political, and they
He's
can't
so-
call him an incel. Come on, he's a
Nah.
handsome fella.
He's got Tatiana.
Come on. Yeah, he's got Tatiana,
Yeah.
the whiskey. He's like
The
success. He's too
EFAP
successful.
guys, videos, like Mahler's videos, probably do the best numbers,
Yeah, he does do incredible numbers with his stuff.
but they probably wouldn't. I wouldn't touch Mahler if I were them.
The thing with Mauler and Drinker is that they're a lot less political. They got, the
They're-
message,
yeah.
but they're a lot less political, and I think they cross over a lot better to people who are independents, who are normies, who don't know, who come across this stuff. A lot of times, they're getting fans from people who are just looking for reviews of X movie, and then they'll come across and, oh yeah, this did suck, and I'm glad somebody else understands this too. I'll check out whatever else they have to go on.
Yeah,
Whereas- yeah.
like Mahler will point out all the stupid shit they do, but he won't take the extra step to conclude what their motivations are.
Yes. And I think that's actually, probably a positive thing. Someone like your boy that you got on, Ryan Cannell, there's no way you sell to him unless you are cool with the political stuff too.
Yeah, like
There's no way.
he's so far on that.
So that's
He-
the thing.
If the Phantom Menace was like a political party, like he's like alt right, you know what I mean? Like he's
Right?
all the way over there.
Yeah, man. So like that's what that makes those guys more accessible. It's fun. Well, you know what? As much controversy as Doomcock has kind of courted internally, he's not really that political when you think about it either.
He used to be more, not in his videos, when he did the Inquisition with Gary,
Yeah,
he would let loose a little bit more about like exactly who and what.
that's true.
But still, like that's not the same. Like that's kind of just his opinions. It's not his brand for sure. Like
Mm-hmm.
he talks about it a little bit. I mean, I haven't watched Doomcock in like I don't know over a year, but I feel like I don't know what was it. He would talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, because he was almost like his thing was rumors and reporting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what got him in trouble. A lot of times the rumors don't come true. He goes hard with a rumor. Some
Mm-hmm.
are true, some are not. But he's more of a rumor and a news almost with opinion, but less of a. He doesn't. He doesn't pick a political side and say this is right, this is wrong. He just says, "Hey, they're using politics as a mean of destroying our culture, or destroying, nerd culture, pop culture,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where he's probably even on that quote unquote political spectrum thing. And I'm not just saying it because they had an issue, whatever. But like he would be way further away from someone like Ryan. You know what I mean? I would say him, Drinker.
Yeah, no,
And
Ryan's way more about the machine behind the culture
yes,
war. Doomcock's more about the actual material that comes out.
yeah, and I would say, same with Drinker, same with Mauler, and Gary would be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, Gary's somewhere in the middle. Yeah, he
And
goes
so,
after it, and he also goes after the terrible quality of the content.
yeah, and Ripper may be a little closer to the alt right, ironically enough.
Yeah. Except
Ripper,
Ripper's like more like a mage. Like you know what I mean? He's just moving. He like kind of exists in a bubble. By the way, did you get your item?
I did. I
did
still
too.
haven't opened it.
No, I haven't read it yet. I mean,
I haven't mentioned on the show, but I'll probably mention later. I was in Detroit this week, so that's why I didn't get a chance to read it. Yeah. So, and I think they picked Doomcock because, like, he's you can replicate that and make it, people will know what you're doing without you having to do it. But I guess like I said, they could have got a.
If they did that with Foulball Productions, though, like I would never stop spiking it over the net. Like I would just boom, boom. Like I would just for the next year, that would be my channel. If
there was a fake Vigilante Williamson on this shit, I would jerk off
to the thought of that. Just like, yeah.
I almost said that, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say that's going too far, but that was because it's like, are you guys trying to promote me? Like,
yeah, thanks for you just gave me a commercial on Disney Plus. Oh yes,
and then it made me realize, holy shit, the whole fandom, like the whole group, are they going to go? Next week, we're going to see like a guy that kind of looked like in glasses with blonde hair, with short blonde hair and a beard. You know what I mean? Is that what they're going to do next week? He's like the co-conspirator or some shit?
Yeah.
Because if they do, it's like, oh, you motherfuckers. Okay, you didn't spend that much money again, Fiona from Shrek, but dedicated a whole series to the fucking fandom?
Well, let's see.
Shit.
See, I don't know. All I know is that they used this image. Doomcock put out a video about it, which I didn't watch, but I guess it's been kind of corroborated. But there's an article from Bounding, so I want to read this article because I don't really know exactly. All I saw was this image here, was the mask and the two masks, right? So the title is She-Hulk appears to model members of misogynist antagonist group Intelligentsia after YouTuber Doomcock. And the strongest suggestion thus far that Disney Plus series is nothing more than a platform for its writers to use to work out their own personal hang-ups. She-Hulk attorney at law appears to have modeled the uniform appearances of series, quote, incel antagonist group Intelligentsia on the recognizable visage of popular YouTuber Doomcock. Introducing this series, what? Oh, God.
Real quick, I wanted you to go back to the picture. And what do you think? Do you think that they were trying to look like Doomcock, or do you think they just came up with a mask?
I don't know because I don't know the context. It's very possible, but I don't know the context. Like that looks like inspired enough that it could be, but I also need to know the context of like who this Intelligentsia group is. I need to know what they say and all this stuff. So I don't know.
Fair enough.
Introduced in this series 6 episode Just Jen, the Marvel Cinematic Universe's incarnation of the primarily anti-Hulk supervillain team is depicted as a forum exclusively full of angry men who have gathered in their shared hatred of She-Hulk. Well, I mean, we're close.
Okay.
Cancel. I thought that said cancel Shrek. So I was like, oh, they're really in on it. Shown making the worst quality anti-She-Hulk memes possible, very much composed of the writer's failed boomer attempts to parody contemporary memes using a format last popular in 2009, and issuing death threats toward the Jade Giantess on a Reddit-like website. The Intelligentsia's hatred of Jen is shown as being based on nothing more than the fact that she's a woman. Oh, God, that is an old school. Guilty of dressing like a man, wears yoga pants, mad when you look. That's not a bad one. Wants equality, still wants you to pay for dinner. Yeah, these are actually pretty great. I have really no problem with these. Are great. Yeah, I totally.
Let's join Intelligentsia.
When you a Hulk, but you still dumb. No, those for the two in the middle though. You're kind of like, yeah, that's a decent point. Yeah. Where's Yoga Pants Man when you look?
Oh, that was the thing. They gotta have some decent ones. They can't just have stupid ones.
I
Oh,
mean, that's
yeah.
totally valid. That's a totally valid thing. It's like, yeah, you're wearing those things. What am I supposed to do? Like, it's like you're basically tempting me, and then you want me to show you so much respect that I won't look. But that's also what you want. So shut up. There's a hypocrisy there. Like that one's actually kind of a self-ponage. It's like, yeah, look how they make these good points. Look at these supervillains with their logic and salient arguments. Can you believe them?
They
You're
did
like,
that in the Batman too. The Riddler was right about everything.
Yeah, you're kind of like, well, I mean, he's not wrong.
And then it just took a crazy left turn just to make him a villain. But yeah.
Yeah. Though the group has been, for the most part, kept to the shadows outside of their agent Josh being seen manipulating She-Hulk's heartstrings as part of the group's machinations, the Intelligentsia finally made their debut alongside Daredevil in the series' latest entry, Ribbit and Rip It. Following was essentially an entire episode surrounding the Devil of Hell's Kitchen. The series' latest episode draws to an awkwardly stumbling close with Jen's attendance of the awards gala where she's been nominated as Female Lawyer of the Year. Is that like a real award thing? Do they really award Female Lawyer of the Year?
Probably not. That's probably invented for this. Unless it is. Hey, correct us in the chat or comments or whatever. But that's probably something they just invented for this to make an event to be able to do whatever the fuck they're doing.
I mean, even if they didn't, whoever would give that out invented it for no reason. It's
Yeah.
not like
what can qualify you as the Female Lawyer of the Year?
honestly.
Like,
Though this disappointingly turns out to be an admittedly patronizing participation trophy award rather than a genuine accolade. Well, how, in what context could that be a genuine accolade? Like,
what couldn't
according
it
to who? Like what? Like Amazon's like corporate lawyer, is like the best lawyer, or we're talking about like the best defense attorney, the best prosecutor. Like, what do you best female lawyer of the year according to what qualifiers?
Yeah, and under if such an award existed, surely there would be some like political nepotistic slant because, like, again, if Amazon's a sponsor, they would probably put their lawyer. If it's more government based, maybe the political party in charge. Like, it would just
like it's like whenever they have like, people's sexiest woman of the year, and you're like, yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah,
it's like clearly a PR stunt because they happen to it's weird they also have a movie coming out this month.
Isn't that crazy?
What a coincidence.
So, yeah.
Jen takes the opportunity. Eventually invited up on stage alongside her fellow female lawyers of the year. Jen takes the opportunity, regardless, to deliver a customary acceptance speech, thanking her parents, her friends, her coworkers for their support. Blah blah blah. However, it is midway through Jen's speech that the intelligentsia reveal themselves to a public at large.
Oh.
Do you know who She-Hulk really is? Asked the group's voice masked leader, Hulk King. Okay, I don't get it. Hulk. Why would? Okay.
Okay.
Why, if you like hated black people, would you call yourself Black King? Like,
I don't know.
that's a really strange.
That's a weird one.
I hate her so much I named myself after her.
Maybe that's, you know what? They're making heavy-handed, ridiculous points. Maybe that's the heavy-handed, ridiculous point.
Okay, all right. The only reason we're spending time on this is because Doomcock's involved.
Yeah, I mean, as you go through this sounds like a Tumblr fever dream, right? Like, this is just. Wait, here's my thing: are there actual villains to the show? Please correct me. Please tell me there's a threat of some sort, or is this show just about the personal life of She-Hulk? Which I get that being a relevant thing in some heroes' journeys and shit, but it's like are someone trying to blow up or kill anyone? Is there, they're trying to kill the Hulk, or they're trying to do, or it's just, hey, she's talked to people on Tinder. What? Was the person 13 that wrote this fucking show?
I don't know. It's so pathetically transparent. It's like, they really just want to write a show about the most awesomest female lawyer in the world, but the only job they could get is writing She-Hulk, so they have to like force it in there.
But yeah.
Like, yes, queen.
Oh,
way
man,
to go,
that's
girls.
Exactly it. They wanted to write their version of like Sex in the City or some shit like that. And unfortunately, they work at Disney and make only $150,000 to.
There's also no market for that shit. It's the same thing as that movie Bros that came out. That's like the gay rom-com. It's like, who the fuck? How big of a slice of the audience do you think there is for a gay rom-com? Like, rom-com are for girls. Guys don't see rom-coms. The only guys who see rom-coms are either gay or forced to by their girlfriend. They don't.
Yeah.
We don't watch that shit. It's fucking terrible. So it's like, then you make one about gay guys. So now there's no women interested because they use it to fantasize about their perfect relationship. And then you're like, why didn't everyone see it? It's like, because there's no audience for it. It's just like, there's no audience for this She-Hulk thing or a story about an awesome female lawyer who's just the best. No one cares.
You know what it is? It's college. These kids go to college and they get told specifically that the reason XYZ hasn't happened is systematic bigotry of some sort, right?
Yep, it's true.
And so when they finally get it stripped from them and then realize, oh no, this shit just doesn't work. And a lot of it is not even that, I don't know, maybe a gay rom-com could work, but you can't work. It can't work like what it was marketed as.
But you also can't blame the audience for not going.
No, you can't. Can we stop doing that? For fuck's sake, I don't owe you money, Hollywood.
No.
What the fuck world are you living in? You know how much isn't gas higher in California? People are broke. I'm not about to go pay to see a gay rom-com. I'm not. Neither is most of America, including gay people. And
like, well, Chrissy Mayer said, like, less than 5 minutes in, there's like a literal gay orgy. You're like, this movie would have to be fucking hilarious for me to sit through that. Like, it would have to be one of the funniest fucking movies I've ever seen. Like, old school level funny for me to like be like, all right, I don't love that, but okay, I can deal with it because the movie's so good. It's like, it doesn't sound good. It sounds gay as fuck. Like, everything I've heard about it just sounds like a gay movie. Like, okay, you made a gay movie. Don't get mad at me because I didn't want to see it. Like, I'm not gay.
Straight,
like, I'm sorry.
bro.
Yeah, like,
get over it.
Who is this for? like, why would I care? It's like, it's so weird. It's like people want you to like root for like you have nothing invested. Nothing in there for you, and yet you're supposed to go and like support it and root for them. It's like, why? And of all the groups in Hollywood that are well represented, gay people kind of got it covered,
right?
Dude, the most powerful people in Hollywood are gay, like hands down. Like I was working at the House of Creative Artist Agency, which is the biggest talent agency in the world by far, has all the talent. Both owners are gay. Both. I've met countless incredibly wealthy and powerful gay men in Hollywood. The idea that there is some lack of representation in the gay community in the Hollywood system, if there is, it's your fault. It's your own community's fault because you guys run the thing.
Man. I don't know what to say, man. I feel like we've said this a million times, but it's like they really don't get it. Listen.
I don't know if they don't get it. I don't know if they don't get it.
Some of them definitely do get it, right? Some of them definitely do get it in this agenda and all this other shit. But some of them don't. They just think, like I said, oh, if only we had our chance, if only there were gay comedies out there, if only there were bestest ever women's stories out there, we would show them. And it's like, no, you won't.
But there have been. But the thing is, those things have existed and they were successful. Like, people keep bringing that up in this bros conversation.
Oh, yeah, definitely successful.
Like The Birdcage. The Birdcage is a funny fucking movie, and that was very successful. Like, it was genuinely hilarious. It's a funny fucking movie, and it did very well. Like, the audiences aren't homophobic. It's just that, dude, there's no audience for a gay rom-com. No one cares. Rom-coms are a ego trip for girls. That's why they exist.
They really are.
They are.
If they're funny enough, the guys will tolerate it.
I've never seen a single rom-com that I like genuinely enjoyed.
Like,
maybe like Not Sleep. What's the one? When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah,
that one's pretty funny. You know, and that's more like a I don't know. It's not as rom-com.
Does Deadpool count? If Deadpool doesn't count, then I'm out.
Would Deadpool work if you took out all the violence and the sword play? I don't think so.
Probably not. No.
Yeah, I don't think so. Let's finish this article. Sorry,
yeah.
We bros hijacked the stream. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to know who She-Hulk really is? Ask the group's voice mask leader, Hulk King, as the group hijacks the award ceremony's audio-visual setup. The truth is, as presented by Intelligentsia, a voice booms out across the reception hall as two masked men appear on screen. She-Hulk does not deserve your attention. Based. One of the men continues as She-Hulk's personal information obtained through Josh's hacking of her phone begins to flood the screen. She does not deserve your praise. She does not deserve the power she stole from the Hulk. She's not good enough to be a superhero. She's a slut. He finally exclaims as the group's main weapon is deployed, a sex tape recorded with Jen's permission by the aforementioned Josh.
Okay, some of it has lined up. See, that's why, God, that CG looks so bad. She looks like the mask. Actually, I guess the lighting there is better than some of the other scenes. But like, Hulk King likes the Hulk. She came and she took his power and she replaced the Hulk. And I wanted the original Hulk, but this slut, this woman Hulk has replaced my male Hulk that I liked. And that's why the Hulk King of Intelligentsia has to let you know that she's.
This is why you know that they know exactly what they're doing. That this isn't just their best effort, and they're like shocked at the outcome because they wrote in "People Hate She-Hulk" into the first season.
Yeah.
It's part of the first season's plot. Is that people hate it, and the only reason they hate it is because she's a woman. It's just like, well, how'd you know they hated it before you made it?
Because you made it shitty. That's how they knew. And
no,
so
but they don't know. No. They're not in, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're clearly not doing their best. And then when people don't like it, they're shocked by people's responses. They're clearly doing everything with agenda, and they know because that's their motivations, people are going to hate it. So let's get out ahead of it and attack that inside the show so that when people criticize it, they're like playing into our hands or some ridiculous thing that they think.
Well, I also think having something that will be genuinely not good in order to get such a controversy is a part of it too, believe it or not. Like, if this was a competently done show and didn't get enough criticism and therefore didn't get the attention they wanted, they couldn't say that. You know what I mean? What if people actually liked Rings of Power? They wouldn't be saying that because people would actually like it.
Well, what if people liked like the first 5 episodes of this show or whatever, and by the time they got to this episode, they were like, "Wait, what? I like this show. Why? Who are all these people that hate She-Hulk?" Like, they know what they're doing. Like, they know it's agenda first. They know that they're not writing the best She-Hulk show they can write, so that's why they write into the plot now. It's gotten so meta.
Yeah.
That they've written into the plot critics of a show that's in its first season. So you're obviously not just trying your best and hoping the audience likes it. Clearly, like, you're admitting it by your own hand here. Like, we knew that was the case, but you're inside of your own show admitting that this is not the goal of the show, is to make it good and make comic fans happy, obviously.
No, the goal is to piss the right people off and then make fun of them.
I mean, cool. Good luck with that. I hope you keep it going. I think keep it up. Cool. Staring up at the screen in horror is a personal escapade is broadcast in front of those close. Like, who like hated Jennifer Lawrence after her like sex tapes came out?
No one. It didn't even really negatively affect her career, did it?
Dude, Kim Kardashian has a career because of her sex tape. Like, no one.
Yeah, that doesn't even track.
No.
Usually, there was an era where girls were trying to put out sex tapes to boost their career.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Oopsie, I leaked my tapes on Instagram." Yeah. I don't get this. They're like, "Oh, she's a slut. She has sex." Like, that's not going to ingratiate anyone to their cause. It's just going to make her look like such a total victim. Like, these are boogeymen. They're not even real, not even kind of accurate criticism. Even the people they're attacking, like, they don't even. I'm sick of talking about this because honestly,
because
it's just frustrating.
Stupid, and we're
dumb.
Giving mental. I'm about to say a word. I don't know if you can say the word because of the mental images, but you're giving mentally inferior people more credit than they actually deserve. They are.
Yeah. I just want to find out if this is actually about Doomcock. Like, that's the only thing.
Let's try to get through the article, see if this is really a Doomcock thing. I mean, clearly there is something. Whether it's Doomcock specifically, there's clearly something to criticize the critics before they can critique it. You know what I mean? Like you said, there's a meta thing happening.
Ah.
Oh.
Clad in a robot-like angular mass that emphasized the general bone structure of the human face and speaking through a voice modifier that drops their pitch by a few octaves, it appears that either these angry strawmen have their disguises inspired by the notable YouTuber, or Marvel and Doomcock have found themselves involved in one of the most insane coincidences in the history of media production. Ah.
So there's like a voice thing because he does that in his video.
They did the voice thing. That's, to me, that's the smoking gun.
Oh, wait, go back down. Go back down. Look at his robe. He has a robe.
Yeah, those like hoodies. Those like hoodies.
Okay.
Yeah. But to me, that's the smoking gun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, it's a fake take on Doomcock, and that's what I find offensive. This is what Doomcock said.
Well,
I don't know why you'd find it offensive, Doomcock.
Yeah, I would be like, okay, I am living rent free.
I'd be like, ooh, baby, I'm buying a new garage. Like,
yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, I've been trying to upgrade to a Porsche. Like, you know, like, I would just, that's all I would do.
Yeah, I probably would have came out with 5 videos or something.
At least. I'd milk this for months.
Right?
I'd pray that this villain continues. Yeah. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing that he'd say offensive. No, it looks stupid. But it does seem to me that, yes, after reading that whole article and the fact that they dropped the octaves down, I think, yes, that is inspired by Doomcock.
Yeah, that is. Hey, everyone in the fandom, keep going hard. Apparently, you're living completely rent-free in their head. They're empty heads.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about this. That was, what's the little clip? We're all dumber for having heard that. I mean, just
everything you just said had no point.
Yeah.
At no moment during your speech did you make anything approaching a salient point.
That's what it feels like. This show. I can't imagine. I would love to know how many people actually watch the show. I really wish.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Hey, that works. That works.
I wouldn't even have like it's almost like it almost brings me down talking about it.
Right?
Like mentally. Like I start getting in the mud with these pigs and it's like I don't want to do that. Like it's fine for a minute, but then I start like wrestling with the way they think about the world and I'm like I don't need this in my head.
Right?
Like genuinely. Like the only reason I talked about it for a minute was cuz like oh maybe it's inspired by another YouTuber, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But trying to decipher their logic and their world, it's like it's making me. I feel like it's sick.
It's a part of my brain. That's why I say everyone's dumb. I'm like that doesn't. I'm not supposed to. Head hurt bad. I don't know why. Like what the fuck? I have like a. You know what it is? I kind of have a headache. Because it's like.
Yeah, I have like a bit of a stomach thing.
Oh yeah, and then you add this, and it's like this doesn't make any sense at all. Like, you guys can't. I don't know.
Like you said, it doesn't track.
It doesn't track. If you know what?
She has sex, guys. You're like,
because we're incels, we're never gonna get pussy.
We don't like that.
We're gonna beat our meats till the cows go home. I don't know what the fuck the point is.
I don't get it.
Are there incel groups? I don't want to say ask that question. I'm sure there are, and I'll get like bombarded. Like, don't make fun of the incels. But like,
fuck you. I'll make fun of whoever I want.
What in the fuck do these people? These people can't possibly think this shit exists. But I feel like they do.
But I think they do. It was like that whole Weather Katie thing where like they thought, you know what I mean? They thought that that's how people think. Like,
you like pussy, you'll take pussy. Monster meat. Rape culture.
Yeah. Rah. Rape culture.
Masculinity.
All about it. Like, oof.
Yeah.
God damn it. Like, it's crazy. It's just, oof. I haven't lived in that critiquing pop culture in a while. And that was a good reminder of why I don't like doing it.
Let's type on Reddit on how we hate women.
Yeah, it's like I just have to get inside their stupid heads. And like their heads, like it's not even worth arguing against because it's so off the mark. It's who are you arguing with? No one, you're not arguing with a single person that exists.
No one can be watching this show. How can a normal person watch this? I know.
I don't know.
I can see how a normal person could put up with Rings of Power before this. Because you might just like, I'm high. I'm on mushrooms. I'll keep it on.
Let's change the subject.
Yes.
Because I do want to talk about something I watched that actually was very good.
Yeah.
It's a movie that came out recently, and despite its like implausible premise, it's actually based on a true story. Have you heard about this movie?
No, the greatest beer run ever.
Yeah, so when I saw that, I was out. I saw the title, I was like, eh. And then when I learned what it was about, I was like, that's stupid. Like, it's about a guy who goes into a war zone to bring his buddies beer. I'm like, that's dumb. But it actually happened.
What?
Yeah. So in the 60s, during Vietnam, there was this guy who was formerly in the Marines, and then was out and was kind of like a drunken bum, just sort of not doing much, and was a merchant marine, and worked on like in the boiler room of like these boats that would go across the ocean bringing supplies or whatever. And one night, like, he was in a bar, and the bartender that they would always hang out with, this guy, the colonel, he would say, he would say, someone should just go over there and just give those guys a beer. Just let them know we're thankful. And then the guy stands up and declares that he's going to do it. And then everyone's like, yeah. And then, like, ow, fuck. Something
right?
sharp in my sock. Yeah. Ow, it's like a little sticker, like from like the woods. Ouch, that hurt. Yeah, and so they're like, all right, it's like thinking he's being like a drunk kind of fool.
Yeah.
But then all these like mothers from the neighborhood who have like their kids over there, like, oh, when you go over there, give Johnny this and this, that, and the other. And then he starts to get all this pressure, and he's like, oh fuck, I don't know. I don't know if I even can do it. And he goes to the office, and it turns out there actually is a ship going to Vietnam that's delivering munitions, and he, takes the ship and goes to Vietnam, and then ends up like traveling the country in the middle of a war. Wow. And ends up successfully delivering beer to several of his friends, some of whom are in war zones.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a crazy story, man. It does sound pretty good. Like a interesting thing. I feel like I want to read up on the original story and watch the movie. That sounds pretty crazy.
Like, I couldn't believe it was real. And then there was parts in the movie I was like, oh, fuck you. There's no way that happened. That shit happened.
Huh.
I was like, that part? Like, that part seemed like the Hollywood fantasy part. Like, no, that really happened. I was like, oh, what?
Wow.
Yeah, it was really good. And also, like, it had a really good tone because it was dealing with, like, his kind of perception of the war and then actually being there and kind of coming back with a new perspective. Like, it doesn't take, like, a hardline political, like, there's no messaging, really. It's not. It's like it shows you events and shows you fucked up stuff, but it doesn't say, there's no like, the war and, it's like, it's just showing you what happens and watching the character change as he experiences these things. That's like it. It's as far as it goes into a political message.
Wow.
It was really good.
Efron.
Yeah, wow. It was really good. The only things I'd say that they took too many liberties with was that this character, while a fuck up he may have been, was a Marine for 4 years. Yeah. So there's at one point where they give him like a gun, and then his friend's like, hey man, he'll probably most likely end up shooting his foot off, but he shoot the enemy or whatever. So they take the gun back, and I'm like, all right, listen, man, like the guy was a Marine for 4 years. Like in the Marines, you're a rifleman first, so you are regularly training with firearms. He knows how to handle a weapon. Like
that's a bit too much.
Yeah, they played up the like, whoa, I'm a wacky guy in a war zone angle a little too much, but other than that, it was really good.
Okay, man. Hey, we don't just complain, Hollywood. We recommend if you do something good. Didn't mean to rhyme there. But
you just been rapping so much, you can't help it. Bars are just flying out of your face.
It's just happening. Yeah, man. Hey, that sounds cool, man. I'm gonna check it out. I'm trying to check out things that I like. You know what movie I did see this week, ironically enough? Something you talked about on your channel a while ago. Fucking Repo Man, Paulie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's my first time seeing it.
What'd you think?
I like it.
It's weird, right?
Like it. Yeah, it's weird.
That's good. I love that movie.
It was fun. It's fucking fun.
It's so
weird. it's one of those movies. I hate to say it, it'll never make now, but for different reasons. It's not like, oh, this is all agenda. It's like, yeah, that's why. It's like, man, you know what? That you do appreciate just something a bit on the wacky side, on the surreal side, on the weird. Doesn't take itself seriously. Sometimes does. Still has some points.
Yeah,
everything is kind of just like.
But it's also like the 80s. It was different.
Yeah,
just,
and then that 80s kitsch.
I love there's so many good lines from that movie. Like where he goes, yeah, we're gonna go do some crimes. She's like, yeah, let's go do those crimes. Like, yeah, we're gonna go get some sushi and not pay.
Yeah. Or what is it? Hopefully, I'm not trying to be offensive to the LGBTQ. What was it? John Wayne's a fag?
John Wayne was a fag. The hell he was.
Yeah.
Yes, he was, you boys. I came over there and installed two-way mirrors in his bedroom. That doesn't mean he was a homo, Miller. Lots of guys like to watch their buddies fuck. I know I do. Don't you? Yeah! Fuck a John Wayne.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's crazy. And then I love the beer, it's just or food or whatever, the little labels.
Yeah.
They never explain them. They just, it just all exist.
Just says beer, food. It's great. Oh, it's so good. When he dumps the girl at the end and she goes, I'm glad I tortured you.
Yeah. He was like, what about our relationship? Fuck that.
Fuck that.
Great.
What about our relationship? Oh, good. That movie rules. Yeah, so there's just so many good Auto parts.
Yeah. Oh man,
it's such a weird one. It's so different, but I love that movie.
It's fun. It was a fun time to be had.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
I got it.
So different.
I don't think it's not for everyone. It's not. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. But for some people, you get, oh yeah, that was a fun time.
Well, that director, Alex Cox, that's kind of his whole thing. He said he'd rather make a movie that 25,000 people intensely love than 1 million people enjoy.
Huh.
That's like,
you want to know something?
Vision.
I think a lot of this, we're going to tie everything together. If some of these actual creators who are into all this like agenda stuff were like genuine artists, they might have that mentality and therefore wouldn't have the standards that they have where like everyone wants to see bros. That if that was an independent comedy that was able to just make its money back and they were just happy with that, they might have been more, you know what I mean? If they made that same amount of money on a much less budget, they'd be like happy, ecstatic. But because it was supposed to be some big budget thing and we were supposed, we were all just supposed to go out and like it and hey, gay orgies, haha, that's so great. But that's not what we did because we're fucking straight and that's not going to work. It's not going to work. Same with this little, she obviously couldn't do She-Hulk, but if those same creators told their own stories, no, it wouldn't be mainstream. You wouldn't have a lot of people like it, but you could probably get 25,000 people to go, yeah. And I guess that just kind of shows they're not really genuine artists because they would be happy with that. They're not happy with that.
You can't have that mentality coexist with true creation because true creation forces you to see things from new perspectives.
Yeah, it does.
Like it makes you challenge your own perspectives more than anything.
Yeah.
I think that to me, that was always the best gift I got out of writing was having more empathy, seeing things through other people's eyes, like having a more rich worldview. Like at the end of my, like whatever the endeavor was, you learned something about people when you came back from it. If you have a hardline agenda to teach people your worldview, well, then you can't learn anything through your process, so you're not making anything other than shit.
Yeah. You know what? Like, all shit aside, these artists are actually cheating themselves. As much as they're making shitty 100%. Shit and fucking up our culture. They're cheating everybody. They're cheating themselves, and they're just cheating the culture of creativity. Because to me, it's suffering across the board. And it's not just entertainment. Man. I mean, there's good stuff out there. We just showed that the Edge Runner shit is good. There's good shit out there.
Yeah, Cyberpunk's good. Speaking of which, sorry, I don't want to interrupt your point.
Go
ahead.
Your
point. No, make your point.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's like it seems like pop culture entertainment as a whole is just down, and I think it's because there's too many people who they're not real artists. They're trying to and that goes for people who are agenda guys or guys who are all right, I'm about to come with some derivatives to try to make the most amount of money. I think that's why we have so much like material. It's like they don't have that guttural passion to have that. Okay, if only 25,000 people really love it, I'm cool with that. And you do have to be cool with that.
I've had a healthier relationship with content since I stopped like obsessing over their motivations. It's like, remember that, what was that Simpsons cartoon with all the advertisements, like the Treehouse of Horror, and they're no, just don't look at them, and they're like, wait, and they like, I think it's almost kind of like that. Like, I thought there was something virtuous for a while about like exposing it, but actually, for me personally, it was like really detrimental.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm able to watch.
That's what gives them attention, it gives them power, and they come after you with it.
Yeah, and then I don't see things as cynically. Like, that's why I was actually able to watch that movie, the Beer Run movie, and enjoy it, because I wasn't like on patrol for messaging. I was just like, let me just watch this movie and see if I like it. If I don't, I'll turn it off. Like, who cares? Like, it doesn't. I have nothing invested in whether this is good or it's not. It's just I'm just here as a consumer of entertainment.
Yeah.
But what I did want to say. And this was quite reluctant on my part. And this was something that came up early on in our culture war journey and our YouTuber journey. I work with some dudes, pretty cool guys, like some really interesting. I talked to them about like that Jedi game that I was playing, the Fallen Order. And the one dude that brought up like Cyberpunk. Do you play Cyberpunk? And I was like, no, like. They're like, why? They're like, well, it's gotten a lot better. I'm like, well, I should have been good when I got it. You know, like, I was joking, but still. But they kept insisting, and I was like, all right. So I re-downloaded it, and I'm shocked to say I've actually been enjoying it.
See, I heard this. I'm in a mixed place with this, because I keep hearing that. Oh, no, you got to play Cyberpunk. This is exactly what they did it. And I feel like I hate rewarding companies for getting us to pay for them to fix it. Then again,
obviously, I completely empathize with that point of view, and I'm no shill.
I also have like, well, Madden doesn't even fix it, you know? And so it's like, well, they did actually fix it. And man,
it took 2 years or whatever, but the game's good.
Yeah.
And it's not perfect. It's certainly not perfect. Like, I've had this glitch several times where I'll just whip out my gun, like, in a crowded place, and it'll just go, bup, 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 it'll just start lighting up everyone in front of me. I'm like, no. And, like, the cops are coming. I'm like, I didn't mean to do it. And there's definitely cool glitches.
like it almost feels like in the Cyberpunk world that might actually happen.
Yeah, like there's glitches too where like I've gotten the bike like stuck in the earth and then it just pops out and stuff. Like there's certain things, but overall, I'm having fun with it, you know. And seeing as how like I can't ever get my money back anyway, like I guess it's like, all right, fine. Like I don't, you know, from like the culture war standpoint, like I think it's disrespectful to the customer. I don't like that exists, you know. Like I am like you. I don't want to reward that behavior. But from just a dude who wants to enjoy something's perspective, I'm having fun with it. Like it started expanding. It's a lot smoother. Like that game was like sludge when I first started playing it. Like it didn't move. It didn't load. Like, it was so uncomfortable.
And then it was a PS2 trying to run a PS4 game.
Honest to God, it doesn't really have that anymore. It still happens after I play it for a while. Like it takes a longer time to kind of click into real speed, and then once it gets into real speed, it's way more fun. The combat's more fun. Like I enjoy it. Like I've obviously given up on the fact that it's like an RPG. That was my biggest complaint. Like one of my biggest complaints, but that was probably the biggest one. Was like, you guys advertise this like I could play it however I want, and that's not the case. And I like RPGs where I can impact the story. That's why I like Fallout. Like I want to. I want an RPG. I don't want to just be like on rails and like masquerade.
Linear story.
Yeah,
but you give me some choice, but it's not real choice.
But I've abandoned that, and that's fine, and I've accepted it. And it's fun. I mean, it's really fun. There's lots of good side missions. It's like they strip down. Like when I first started, I was like, there were so many side missions. Every time I complete one, the 9 others would pop up. I'm like, this is insane. That's really streamlined. Like travel's great. Driving is a lot better.
Yeah, that was not good. At launch.
Driving's a lot better. Okay. But it's also like they made it more fun, but also less realistic because when you're driving, especially at high speeds on the motorcycle, there's like no cars around you. So you're like, okay, you're taking me out of it a little bit. But I'm not saying play it. I'm not like one of those people who's like, no, I'm just saying
you
personally.
You should like it because you did it.
I am personally enjoying my journey back into this game. I didn't think I'd ever say that, and I didn't even think I would even try, and I'm actually having fun with it. So,
well, shit, that Edge Runners as a marketing ploy has certainly worked.
It worked. Worked for me.
Second Bloodline, not so much. Thank you, Harada. But man, I'm like I said, I'm in a mixed point because they deserve some credit for actually fixing it because there's game companies that won't. There's so many game companies. 2K is going to be the same broken build every year. Madden's going to be even worse. FIFA's going to be even worse than that. And they're going to run it out.
I've said this to Rob. They've given Skyrim like 11 remasterings and repackagings. They've never done it one time for Fallout New Vegas. It's just like,
wow.
Like, it's still a popular game, and not once did they ever like. There's so many bugs and glitches. And there's a few patches, but
that's pretty great. Yeah, it's a pretty popular game to never remaster, relaunch, and do all that stuff.
No,
is it? Well, Bethesda didn't make that. Am I correct?
That's the thing. They outsourced a lot of it to Obsidian.
Yeah, and that's probably the reason.
And that's why. Ego.
Even if it's not a corporate reason, just an ego reason. Oh well, that wasn't really our game. So
yeah, it's definitely it. That guy Todd or whatever his fucking name is.
Yeah, Todd Howard, I think.
Is that it? Yeah, he's got like I think he's got like a psychopathic kind of narcissism
off that way.
Because it's like you see it in his games, like they're so superficially, like especially in the Fallout franchise, like Fallout 4 most notably, is like, yeah, this is what someone would make if you told them about Fallout.
Yeah,
but like it's not someone who understands what Fallout is. It's like it's got all the superficial trappings. It's got like the rad scorpions and the guns and the environments, but it's not the soul is 100% not there.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that makes sense. So.
Yeah, he does come off that way. He seems pretty nuts.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. You know what? If Cyberpunk is on sale, which I think it might still be, I don't know.
Oh, did you get a refund?
I got a refund. Yeah. I got a refund at the time. I was pissed.
Yeah, I was pissed too. I was so
like,
mad.
nah, I want my money back.
I'd never anticipated a game that much in my entire life.
Yeah, it was the most anticipated game really ever. The hype for it. And they promised so much, right? Like, you're not lying about the RPG things. And I know some people have pushed back, and maybe it's more of them. But, like, I thought you were going to be, like... damn near thought it was going to be the metaverse. You know what I mean?
God, the way they advertised it, that was the expectation. That's what I expected.
Yeah, and that was like, man, I'm going to be able to play my own way, come up with my own character. I'm in my head trying to think what my character's going to be like. And even as a story thing, I'm like, oh, man. What fucked me up is I started to, I watched some streams and I started to try to do things differently than they did and still got the same results. I'm like, okay, well, it's the early game, so I guess
when you
some of this is on rails, and then
your origin is essentially it all kind of goes the same. No matter which, there's like all the different way. Corpo is almost the same as Nomad. It's like you have a slightly different starting point, and that's it. It's like, okay.
Like, oh, this isn't that different.
This
and okay, this situation happens differently if you do. I'm like, okay, it's slightly like there were differences, but like that's not what I. Like almost what you said, superficial. Like there will be minor changes to the story elements, but not core changes to the story.
Yeah, just don't advertise it like that. Like that's okay that it's not that. Like I've played other games that are like, Half-Life is not like
that are more on rails.
None of the Half-Life games are like that. They're awesome, on rails, but it's like why advertise it like that to me?
Sold though,
right?
Yeah. And then you sold it working, and you sold this graphical fidelity, and they sold a bunch. And so I was so angry at that. And like I said, so many game companies keep selling bills of goods. And it's just like, you know what? I've never worked with it. I was heated. I was pissed. And then even when I tried to give it a playthrough and I started going through the ground because it was glitching out so bad, I was going through the whole world. I said,
oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember your streams, your videos about it. Yeah.
Yeah. It happened on a stream.
Yeah, that was it.
I clipped it into a video.
And then didn't you have to like lose your whole game or something too? Or like
yeah, it did something.
Something like that.
I think I did have to restart it. It was a mess. It was just so broken. I'm like, no. And then when they offer refunds, I'm like, yeah, I got to get my money back for this.
And I think I played too long or something. They wouldn't give me mine.
Okay.
I didn't feel like I played that much, but I guess I played long enough. I don't know. I've gotten back into it. Like the story has evolved. Like it's taken me in different parts of the world, and there's like fun side missions. Like that cab Delamain.
Mm-hmm.
Like the AI cab, well, I guess like part of his personality splintered and all these like rogue cabs, so you have to go find them all over the map. And like they're
cool.
Yeah, and they're just like simple little side missions. You just have like one, you just have to follow it till it stops. One, you have to drive it all the way back, but he keeps freaking out and slamming on the brakes, and he's just like, ugh. So it's like, and then you get like I don't know 1,500 credits or whatever. It's like, but they're just fun little side missions to kill time before the next mission.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. Like I'm having fun with it, that's all I want from a game.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, soft recommendation if you maybe you already bought it, didn't get a refund. If you already have it, hey, at least give it a
I would
try.
say that. Yeah, if you already have it, like they really have patched a lot to the point where the game is way more playable and enjoyable. But I don't know that I'd recommend going and buying it, but
Yeah,
I'm having fun.
I guess if I catch it on sale, I'll give it. I maybe give it a shot, but it does
Yeah.
have to be on sale. I can't.
Yeah. Fuck full price.
I'm not paying
That's
retail.
crazy.
They still want like $50 for this or $60.
60, I think. Like
Jesus,
I mean, most games, like like they don't.
they don't go on sale like that no more. Huh?
Nintendo doesn't do that with any game.
No, they don't. They don't do it with the system. They don't do it with shit. If you want a Super Nintendo game on the fucking thing, it's still like $50 or whatever.
You're like, what? It's 30 years old.
I can emulate this. You crazy?
Yeah, that's how I feel about the NFL. Like I streamed the Jets today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it was clear. It was HD. I watched the whole game. It was great. I just had to put an ad blocker on, but it's like I would pay you if it was reasonable. Like the MLB, it's like for $100 for the whole year, you get to watch every single out of market game of your team.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, but it's 162 games. It's like not that big. Like to me, that's not that much of an ask. It's a lot, but it's not that much of an ask. If the NFL had something comparable, even something approaching reasonable, I would think about it. But the only option you get is this NFL Sunday ticket, which is like several $100s. It's like,
I think I got
no,
that one time in my life.
I'm definitely not doing that. That's
It was
ridiculous.
It really was. It was on some still sale, but it still really wasn't worth it.
No,
It's a lot of money. Like you said, it's a lot of money.
A lot of money, and it's also what if your team goes, it's halfway through the season, they're fucking 2-6.
Yeah, you don't really want to watch the games.
I don't want to watch anymore. I just blew all this money. No, go fuck yourself. So that's what. So I'm like, because the barrier of entry is so unreasonable. I have no shame or guilt about streaming it illegally at all.
Nor should you. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. There's got to be a way to make it cheaper, and you guys can still be filthy rich assholes.
honest to God, and you still get all the advertising, eyes on the advertising,
Right? Yeah, I still have to watch these fucking commercials.
I don't get it.
Fuckers. Because they just show the broadcast, basically.
Yeah, it's probably some relationship with the cable networks or whatever.
Yeah.
I do think though. So I just started up a YouTube TV
Yeah?
trial subscription. Yeah, I have that for like 3 weeks or something, and that's got all the local games. That's it though, just the local games. But also you get Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football. You can get all that stuff. But obviously you have to pay after a while. It's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
But what you can do, and this I think still works, you can buy an antenna, like an actual antenna for your
Yeah.
TV, and if it's powerful enough, you can get HD broadcasts
Yeah,
for free
because
of
they
the
have
local
the HD
games.
antennas now. Because I remember that was a big deal. Like in the 2000s, they switched over to where you need these HD receivers or whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah, but you can get that. That's all free, just for the cost of
Yeah.
the antenna.
Yes, you can do. I thought about doing that because it's like, just to be able to watch the games and shit like that. Because
fuck it.
still like football. Why not? But then you
I
can
do
stream
like
it too.
football.
You can always stream it too. So that's the thing. I wasn't able today because of travel. Oh, I didn't bring that up. We're late in the show. I went to the I almost said the actual family name, Williamson family thing, and it was fun in Detroit. It was really fun. It was cool to see a lot of the fam. And that's why I haven't really done anything all week because I was been in Detroit. It was fun, man.
That's dope, dude.
Yeah. You know what I found out in Detroit, funnily enough?
What's
The
that?
hood doesn't misgender. I was in a fucking Coney Island, which is a Detroit thing. I mean, I know there's Coney Island, New York, but it's like a brand of restaurants, not really a
Oh,
chain.
yeah.
And I was in a Coney Island, and there were, I don't want to misgender them, I'll call them transgender women that were sitting there, and there was these guys, and they were loud, obnoxious, but they clearly knew the people who worked there, and it was actually kind of funny as long as you weren't like the target of them, like cutting up and talking shit. And they were like drinking and smoking and shit. I'm like, oh look, God, this is like really hood. But like, they called them she. They were trying to find some rock song. They were clearly not born as she's, and they called them she. And I thought,
Wow, the hood's woke.
the hood doesn't misgender. I thought that
Wow.
was interesting.
Well, there's lots of I always feel like there was lots of like transgender
That's
in the
true.
hood.
They are. There
Pretty
is,
common.
man. It is really common that there's transgender. I mean, you know what? Not to be woke, soapbox, but it actually does happen where some people do get kicked out of their families. You know what I mean? That is a real thing. You know what I mean? So I get how it does, because you do see that. I've always seen that. It'll be like,
that's real. I mean, I remember always seeing trans in the hood.
Yeah,
and I've seen some trans fucking people kick the shit out of dudes too.
that's always been a fear. That's why I never wanted to fuck with trans people like
No,
that. Like,
man.
I
They've been
never
through
was
some
the one
shit.
to talk shit. Yeah, man. And then some of them are less trans than others, and not small. Like, you know what I mean?
Nah, son.
And they're gonna fight you with everything, man. And it's
I've seen some videos
shit.
of dudes getting the shit kicked out of them by trans
I
people,
can see
girls,
that.
women, whatever.
I'm not gonna misgender them, man.
Nah, man. Just gonna kick the shit out of me.
Yeah, it's like she
got like a
trains
stick and move.
like she still knows how to box and train MMA.
Yeah.
And it's like, remember all that shit we were talking about, the transgender, MMA person? Now you have to deal with that. It's like, oh.
I didn't like that when they would title the videos like "Woman beats the shit out of man." It's like, well, hold on,
Okay,
slow the fuck down. I mean, it's not.
It's not necessarily
Wasn't
that.
born or calm down.
Yeah, let's not go too far.
Let's not go crazy.
Yeah, but hey, man, listen, you still gotta know how to fight. I don't give a fuck what it is. You gotta have some skill. That's one thing. I gotta fucking train MMA or boxing or something. I have to, because I can't.
It's great.
Because I don't. You know what, man? Every man needs to just have some basic knowledge on how to defend himself. I just think that's like a requirement for life.
I agree.
Yeah.
If I ever have a son, that he will be in like MMA classes by the time he can walk.
Yes, because he has to be able to defend himself.
Yeah, I want him to grow up know how to kick ass. It's important.
Shit, that was another thing that kind of kids, man. There were so many kids there, and so many of my cousins and shit have kids now and families, and it was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna have kids, and I'm A-okay with that. I love my little cousins. I love each and every one of them. They're great, and it seems like there's some real value. You talked about that. One of my cousins is training his kids to play basketball, and he's real excited. And they're gonna go real hard with it, like AAU shit and all that other shit. And it sounds cool to kind of like share a love with your child and kind of help them through it and shit like that. But man, there's a lot of yelling and screaming and kids peeing in beds and just like, kids are like these are like whole things you have to deal with. It's like, sometimes you have those moments where you're like, man, I would like to have a kid one day, and you're like, wait a second, this is
a lot of work.
Slow down there, partner. Like,
it's like having a dog times 1,000.
Yes, because your dog can't ask you questions.
Right. And your dog just wants love. It doesn't need anything else.
Yeah.
Your kid needs all kinds of shit. And, any mistakes you make is a permanent fuck up. Like,
you make one mistake, you permanently scar him for life and have to deal with it the rest of your life. Yeah, that's just... And you're going to, because you're a human being.
Yep. So, all right. Well, that was the show, folks.
I feel like it was a complete show, man. Got everything. A little bit of Doomcock, a little bit of personal life stuff, comedy, backs getting thrown out. You talk about bodies, man. I had to go up and down stairs. I'm a big guy, so my knees are not feeling the best after like constant trips up and down. And I got some motivation to lose weight, because it was like, people were cool, but there were people like, hey, man, but you gotta do better. It's like, you're right.
Senator. See, they were right. See, the woke's right, guys. That's the big takeaway. We've converted. We're now woke. We don't misgender, and you got to do better. Yeah,
I'm about to go watch She-Hulk and like it.
I'm gonna scream "Yas Queen" the whole time.
Yas Queen, slay and snap my fingers.
Diddly 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 diddly. Oh, one last thing before we go. I had this theory where, remember The Last of Us 2?
Yeah.
I have a theory that was Neil Druckmann's symbolic, like his, how you get in the conspiracy shit where people have to do like a public ceremony thing? I think that was his to get anointed into Hollywood. Because, and the reason I say that is because I saw the trailer for the Last of Us show.
Yeah.
By the way, it looks really good.
Yeah, does it?
Genuinely. But secondly, Neil Druckmann's name was on that shit, and it was like the full screen in big ass letters, and I was like, yo, like they're saying it like anyone who outside the gaming world even knows who the fuck this guy is. Like I wouldn't even have known who that was until the culture war, until this guy like, you know, shit all over Last of Us. He became infamous. And so then I was like, oh, I bet that was like his, you know, like
his, initiation
Kanye's
ritual. Yeah,
like
Kanye yelling at Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's what it fit. Because, you know, when they do shit like that, it gives it an instant credibility. I remember when Tom Clancy shit first came out, and it was Tom Clancy's this, and it made it like there was a set amount of credibility with anything that put Tom Clancy's name, just because they put his name on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But legit, though, that shit looks pretty good.
I was like, oh man, I might check it out. Listen, I mean, the first one was fucking an excellent masterpiece. So if it's based on the first one,
yeah, so I think
they'll
it
have
is.
a lot of material. I mean, and you think about the story that the first one told, it was over a long period of time. Like that's a multiple season arc, at least. Might be pretty good.
Yeah, they'll probably fuck it up though. They'll probably put in some of those changes, like that they, you know, like they probably won't give it that ambiguous ending.
Yeah. You know what? That's kind of something the sequel kind of just for existing kind of messed up, right?
Yeah. But yeah, my insight was just kind of like, I was like, oh, I bet that's kind of what that was. I bet that was like his like initiation, like his, you know, like a pound of flesh, you know, like his
like, yeah, his
blood ritual.
Yeah, his humiliation ritual. He had to fuck up his game and then go really hard with it and be a public figure and be hated.
Then you'll get made.
Yeah, to put his name. I mean, a lot of creators do not get their fucking names.
Dude, it was huge.
Big letters.
It was like Stan Lee. It was just like Neil Druckmann. I was like, that cuck dude? Like the guy who was like, you know, like, yeah. I was like, they're all like, and I was like, oh, I bet that was the price he paid. Because he like, we you know, we think of him like a certain way, but he still has a career, right? Like he didn't die. Like he's
and we're not
around.
The only one. There are millions of people who think of him a certain way because that hit big. That fucking Last of Us hit massive because that was such a big game.
People were very upset about that one.
Yeah. So like, there's still a lot of people mad.
He's still behind the wall, you know.
Yeah, he is. Now he's, you know, a Hollywood creator, and then if this can get a season of competence and get some of that goodwill, he'll get other shit. Just even if the subsequent seasons, even if it's a beta switch, he'll get other jobs. And now shit, we know how once you start getting those jobs, it seems like you don't stop. Man,
keep the right friends, you know.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta eventually have next time. I'm gonna put the X-Files drop. So anytime some conspiratorial, I can just do the
That's great. I love that. You should have that. That's awesome.
I'm gonna do that. I gotta add that.
That's awesome. Yeah.
All right, guys. Not anything else before we get out of here, because I think it's time to end.
I don't have anything.
Guy gave you an extra half an hour of power on this episode of Culture Crime Fires.
I think we'll probably, for the cocktail lounge this week, which, you know, barring something unforeseen, I still plan on doing. I think we are going to do the top video game list.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I hope you're there for that.
Yes, I will. Yeah. I will make it.
Yeah, I'm going to get Imperitus to message everyone, and we'll, like, you know, we can all have our contributions and really hash it out.
Yeah, I would love to do that, because these lists that we have gone across on that, holy smokes, they're so misguided. It's so
just
ridiculous.
Insulting.
Yes.
I didn't mind that they were wrong, but it was the insult that like motivated this whole other genre of content that we've been getting into. Because I was just like, you didn't mention Half-Life 1 on a list of 100 of the best games. It's not mentioned. It's not even 99. Like, are you serious?
What was it? It wasn't. No, Nier Automata is the 9th best game of all time.
I said, well, what? Who? When? What? What is this game? Then they could throw Tetris up there, and you're like, okay, but are we throwing checkers in this thing too?
Right? Tetris is kind of like just a step up from checkers. Or like,
I mean, I like Tetris, but
I love Tetris. I watched Tetris World Tour. I watched competitive Tetris before, but like, come on, bro, it's not.
Come on, it's not the same.
There's no storyline to Tetris. Like, come
on,
man.
It's like a puzzle.
Yeah, it's a puzzle. It's a digital puzzle. It's fun. It's you know, but come on, man. It barely counts as a video game.
Yeah. So, all right, folks, that's all I got. Cocktail Lounge Friday.
All right. So if you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share, subscribe, please do. But even if you didn't do any of these things, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Good night, good morning, or good afternoon, whatever it is for you. God bless. We'll talk to you later. Peace.
Bye.